And we're back for the afternoon block of racing here at the 2025 Youth National Championships. I'm Grace Latz, and I'm joined here by BB Bryans to kick off who's in the blocks for the men's youth singles.
So this is the D final, and it's important to know that the Regatta Organizing Committee has changed the lane order. So now the boat with bow number 7, which is Westside Rowing Club, is the crew that's closest to the far shore. So they've just flipped the lanes, but they kept the bow numbers the same. So bow number 7, who is closest to shore, is Westside Rowing Club, Brady O'Connell. Lane 6 is Northville Rowing Club, Liam Stewart. Lane 5, Pioneer Valley Riverfront Club, Nathan Gravelin. Lane 4, Tulsa Youth, Andrew Johns. Lane 3, Greater Houston, Matthew Hearn. Lane 2, Wabash Valley, William Kinney. And they're off. So this race is this first race of the last session on Saturday, your D final for the men's single scull. And again, reminder that lane 7 is closest to shore. Lane 2 is closest to the beach.
And looking at the athletes who are competing in this event, so these are athletes who raced on the first day of the regatta in a time trial. So in that every alternating lane, just one at a time, laying down a fast time, but racing themselves and racing for time, to be able to be seeded into their respective C, D, and E finals. Basically, if they placed outside the top 16, it meant that they would then come directly to a final. So we're looking at the fastest time out of that time trial would be Brady O'Connell of Westside Rowing Club. He posted a time of 7:27. And so he's probably, I mean, when I'm doing a race like this, I'm trying to race my best race from what occurred in my most recent race. So how can I improve from my time trial to here, and then also have the race of my life? Because I'm racing against peers of similar speed, and it's the last race here for the Youth National Championships. So they're racing for places 25 through 30 in this final, and 25th through 30th in the country.
Correct, and that's a big deal. And I think they did go through that time trial, so they know how they raced that piece with nobody next to them. So the good news is they have knowledge of a race that they just did. They know what they liked, they know what they wanted to work on, so they can implement that here. Racing with someone next to you, I think, is so much more fun, because that's why you race. You race to see how you stack up against your competition, which is harder to do in a time trial. So taking that and using that to your advantage instead of having it sort of take you out of your game is what's going to help you be the most successful here. And it looks like right now, Pioneer Valley's Nathan Gravelin is doing a great job of that. He's just nice and long and relaxed, and he's been able to push himself out a little bit, giving himself a little bit of room here to be able to see what everybody else is doing, which is quite an advantage, again, if you can just stay calm and use that to your advantage instead of getting worried if people start to move.
And also worth pointing out, so all the athletes here on the course have qualified through their respective regionals and qualifying events. I'm seeing also here in the bio notes that were given here as announcers, just like how accomplished some of these athletes are on their path to get to the Youth National Championships. Lane 6, Northville's Liam Stewart was the 2025 winner of the Huron River Sprints and placed second at the Kensington Sprints. So again, in that Midwest region, coming out of Michigan. And being able to race in the single so many times at a youth level is incredibly impressive, and they're here to cap it off at a national championships here in Sarasota at Nathan Benderson Park. It's literally the site of the national team trains here. We had Olympic and Paralympic trials here last year. So, I mean, these athletes get to have a really nice bookend to this year's racing experience.
And let's not forget, they've also hosted the World Championships and the Under-23 World Championships. So they are on the best race course in our country. Right now, arguably the best race course in our
Arguably.
country. Lane number 7 is starting to make a little bit of headway into Nathan's lead. West Side Rowing Club, Brady O'Connell, in lane 1 is making a nice push to move himself away from the rest of the pack and up into the lead of Nathan Gravelin. So we are getting a little bit more spread out here.
And what's kind of interesting, we were talking about the seating of lanes, right? So that the fastest seated crew is on the far side, so on the right-hand side of the screen. We're far side from us on shore. But here we're looking at Nathan. He's really doing almost he's really creating an upset, because sometimes races are seated not just 0 through 7 or 7 through 0, but as a chevron, so fastest lanes in the middle,
Yep.
and then seating out from there. So he's kind of making his own plan here. He's making his own destiny. He's like, I'm not going to abide by what happened in the time trial. I'm going to see what I can do, lay down good 4 quarters of racing and see if I can throw in a competitive time.
Well, and hearing from you what accolades he has had this spring, he's used to being in the middle of the race course. So
Yeah.
he feels very comfortable there and is comfortable figuring out ways to go fast there. And he is still, as we look at this screen right now, he is still able to have, he doesn't have open water, but he's clearly in the lead, followed by West Side's Brady O'Connell. And then over in lane 4, Tulsa Youth Andrew Johns is in the 3rd spot right now. And Northville Rowing Club's Liam Stewart is sitting in 4th at this moment. So we're spreading out a little bit more, but we've still got a ways to go, and things happen as they get into a little bit more choppy water. So hopefully everybody stays clean and is able to push hard. And they are just crossing through 1,500 now, 500 meters to go. So if moves are going to be made, they probably need to be made now.
Yeah, we've got kind of 2 mini races within the race on the race course. So Pioneer Valley Riverfront and West Side Rowing Club, I would say Brady O'Connell has made a little bit of a pushback. So they're going neck and neck, and we're also seeing Liam Stewart and Andrew Johns from Northville and Tulsa, respectively, kind of going back and forth. A little back off the pace would be Greater Houston and Wabash Valley. But they're all here racing in this D final of the 2025 Youth National Championships in the single. The single is so hard, especially in the last 500 meters of the race. You have to, it's really what do you have between the ears on top of all of your months of training, years. You can't just show up to the Youth National Championships just hopping in a single.
No.
It's
absolutely not.
You've got, there's a lot of experience in these athletes. And look at this really great, I feel like we just heard or saw Nathan Gravelin of Pioneer Valley Riverfront trying to put on a little bit more of a sprint. I saw an uptick in the rate, and Brady O'Connell is responding to that. So we're neck and neck here as they're coming towards the line. Really tough to do in a single. They're trying not to look outside. They're outside of their own shells. They're keeping internal, maybe trying to figure out what can I do? Just hold on a little bit of an edge. They're about 20 strokes away from the finish line here at the 2025 Youth National Championships. Nathan, he seems to be about half a boat up, but Brady O'Connell now coming up into the last of the race, keeping his bow ball seat. Does he have enough real estate to get ahead? But it will be Pioneer Valley Riverfront. West Side's Brady O'Connell.
And Northville's Liam Stewart comes 3rd, followed very closely by Tulsa Youth's Andrew Johns. Really great racing.
Yeah, in a single,
single scholars.
To have that composure to not get distracted what was going outside the boat, because